From the humble beginnings that shaped his political consciousness in the rural Transkei in the Eastern Cape, Chris Hani led the ANC army into its earliest vicious battles against the apartheid regime. When the ANC decided in the early 90s to suspend the armed struggle, Hani was reportedly angry, but he later accepted the decision to give peace and political negotiations a chance.
This is a warning to the capitalists, to this government of fat cats, that the workers in this country are prepared to march forward to a democratic South Africa and to socialism.
On the eve of South Africa's political breakthrough to freedom, Chris Hani was murdered on this day in 1993. It was Nelson Mandela who helped to prevent an imminent bloodbath thereafter.
Now is the time for all South Africans to stand together against those who, from any quarter, wish to destroy what Chris Hani gave his life for, the freedom of all of us.
Hani's killers Janus Walus and Clive Debbie Lewis remain in prison, but his family is still searching for answers.
Not only Debbie Lewis and his friend were involved. There is a bigger picture here. There must have been a group of people who sat down and planned. So I'm still saying up to date. I want to know the truth. I want to know who was involved. Then we'll move on.
With the passing of time, however, she says the wound of Hani's death has healed somehow.
The pain is lesser. Now that it's 20 years he has gone, we are celebrating his life. We are no more crying. That's the difference between 20 years ago and today.
2 decades later, Chris Hani's memory still lives on the minds of many South Africans.
I have a great respect for that man. And I think personally, if he was alive now, he would have been president of this country.
We needed more people like Chris Hani in this world because he was very courageous.
For many, his death represented the end of apartheid and quite literally the beginning of democracy. It was only through his death that the date was set for the first democratic elections in the country. But would he appreciate the South Africa he fought for but never saw?
The campaigns that he launched are more relevant today. People are still homeless. Despite that, we've done much. For instance, we've built more than 3 million houses as a democratic government. But majority of our people still do not have houses. We still have hunger in our society, and yet we have the richest economy on the African continent.
President Jacob Zuma is expected to be among dignitaries when the SACP commemorates Chris Hani's 20th anniversary in Boksburg later today. Tammy Dixon, SABC News.